All right, so we're going to talk about next week or this weekend storm potential here. And I want to show you what the setup is going to look like. There's still quite a bit of disagreement between the models, and that's okay. You expect that this far out. But the models are indicating that along the East Coast, all the way up from Maine, just follow my cursor here through Pennsylvania. That's going to be where the threat zone is for a potential snowstorm, possibly even into parts of Georgia. We're going to have plenty of cold air in place. We're going to have energy diving down, diving southward, and we're going to have energy feeding into it out of the southwest. And you're going to have this trough to dig down and deliver that shot of cold air. So you're going to have all the ingredients there, but will they all come together and form a storm? That's the question at this point. But the potential is there for some significant snow somewhere along the East Coast. Right now, it looks like the greatest threat is in the Carolinas in this portion right in here. I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me show you the. I'm gonna show you the surface map quick, and then we'll look at the upper levels. But let's move this along here. I need to move myself across the screen because I can't see where I'm trying to talk about. There we go. All right. So there's the storm. This is the GFS model, and also known as the good for snow model, because it likes to bring some substantial snow sometimes and then just kind of says, haha, kidding, not going to happen. But this is the storm that I'm talking about. See, it forms, and you get some substantial snowfall through both the Carolinas, into Virginia, into Delaware, potentially. And you see, it's going to be a very close call for portions of the Mid Atlantic and New England region. So that's why I still think that they're in play. But the biggest threat does appear to be down here in the Carolinas at this point. It could change, and then the storm exits and goes off to the east. And let me show you what the upper levels look like because, well, before we go to the upper levels, let me just show you. Look at the 540 line. That's roughly what we use as the rain snow line. It's all the way down into the Gulf into Florida. So you're going to have plenty of cold air in place, plenty of cold air for snow. It's just, can we get a storm to throw that precipitation back on the cold side and produce snow? And I do think it's going to happen. I just don't know exactly where yet. But let's take a look at the upper levels because that's what we do here. We look at the upper levels. All right, so here is the upper levels. Let me show you all the different pieces of energy here. Okay, so this is going to deliver that shot of fresh, cold Arctic air. That's going to dive southward. You're going to have energy diving here out of the western Pacific, the northwest Pacific, and then you're going to have this southern stream energy feeding into it. So that's going to bring extra energy and ample moisture. And you see this dive southward. Here's your energy. This is where your storm will be on the east side of the trough. And the trough axis is far enough west that, yes, you could get a storm along the coast here. The other day, or I think it was yesterday at one point, the GFS was showing the trough axis further east. If you get it further east, the storm's going to be further east, offshore. But back here is where you want it if you want snow somewhere along the East Coast. And I'll show you here. We're going to move this along. There's the energy out ahead of the main trough. You get a positive tilt, but then it starts to turn negative. Look at that. It starts to turn negative. You get a cutoff low here over Georgia and South Carolina. And then you get in the southerly and southeasterly flow out ahead of this. It's going to drive that precipitation back inland into the cold air, and that's where you get the snow. And then it does move off then to the east and moves offshore, scathed the mid-Atlantic and New England from the potential for a big snowstorm. But we'll see if that actually occurs or not. At this point, it's too early to really pinpoint exactly where we're going to see snow. Let's look at you know what? I'm going to look at the Euro AI quick. All right, so here is the Euro AI. This is the surface. Again, 540 line all the way down across Georgia. Plenty of cold air to work with. And then here is the storm. And notice you still get that snow across Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, but it hugs the coast. I mean, it's a very close call. I mean, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, and then up into southern and eastern New England, you get some snow out of this with how close it is to the coast. And I'll show you what it looks like in the upper levels here so that you can see why. Let's go to the upper levels. All right, look at this. Here's your energy that's diving southward, delivering that cold air. And then there's the energy. Let's move this back here so you can see what I'm talking about. There's the energy coming in. It's going to get ahead of that trough right in here. There's that energy it's going to create. That's going to bring the storm. And then look, much closer to the coast here. Much closer to the coast. If you look at the GFS at this point, this is 18Z Sunday, February 1st. Let's look at 18Z Sunday, February 1st. There we go. 18Z, this is the same time period. It's all the way out here. European AI, all the way back in here. So it's closer to the coast, and you get some snow all the way from Georgia, Carolinas, Virginia, New Jersey, and eastern New England. Does that verify? I don't really know. It's really too early to tell, but the potential is there for some substantial snow somewhere along the East Coast for this weekend. So stay tuned for any updates. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know. But just know potential is there, and some of the models are indicating it, some of the models aren't. So there's a lot of disagreement right now, but over the next day or two, they should start coming to more of an agreement. We should have a better idea. So just stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed.